What's up, guys? This is Tommy from Throwing Ropes, sponsored by Wallberry Theater. This is episode 6 of Throwing Ropes, going over the Week 5 UPBL Fantasy Football League. On today's agenda, first we're going to do the fastest 2 minutes. After that, we got the boys at Take 5 coming in. They're going to do some of Danny Discounts and Jack Hacks. Third, we're going to have a special guest come on where we go over some cut, start, sits. And then we'll probably close out with some thoughts on the week and get ready for Week 6. Let's get into it.
I'm wearing pink headphones.
Then there's gonna be a pause where like he brings in some visuals and music, and then we can start bullshitting a little bit during that part. Like, what's up, guys? We're back. That whole thing. And then we'll slowly just move into the fastest 2 minutes.
All right, let's start off with the fastest 2 minutes
What's up,
in
boys?
UPBL.
What's up, boys? We're back. And we start off on the beaches of Santa Monica, where somebody must have punched a dank donkey because Danny and his boy, Herbert the pervert, buried the evidence in the sand. The new king in the north, Josh Allen, wouldn't allow any foreign propaganda to enter his kingdom. He built a wall too tall for Straight Outta Hopkins to hippity hop over. Team Dakey Punch, 138, social propaganda, 101. Whoop!
Come. It's Halloween coming up, so join me on a walk through this well-lit, yet strangely familiar subdivision. Well, I'll be. That's Aaron Rodgers' house. This must be Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. But whoa, look at that. Is that Antonio Brown creeping up to his house with some toilet paper? Does he need some TP for his Antonio? Meanwhile, down the street, come the Camara police with their yellow legal pads at the ready asking, who dat? It was Alvin, not the Chipmunks, trying to hit me with their Prescott. Once again, Robinson Caruso was left out on an island by Urban Meyer, but had just enough coconuts and sunscreen to outpace Enzonio Gibson and bust his Gibson guitar. And with 3 big swings of the fantasy bat, the invading space colony 21 Machinas managed to crush the kneecaps of the Power Walkers. How dare you!
Holy shit, Batman.
For our next matchup, this week we got a chance to see the Shuckers battle the multiple Scoregasms in the execution chamber. On the Scoregasm side, we witnessed the pure running style of Sir Big Chubb as he posted 23.5 points on the day. And while Kyler was certainly a disappointment, Justin Jefferson and D-Boy showed once again why they have the cemented spots on the starting lineup and both know how to do the gritty, which is sick. And Zerline Sherline had a great game and posted 14 points. Scoregasms accumulated a total of 119.6 points. On the Corn Shucker side, Tom Brady was at it again, reaching for 40 points, but couldn't quite make it. While Dr. Zekel and Mr. Hend once again were producing and chugging the magic RB serum, allowing them to turn into their alter egos. While Diggs couldn't dig deep enough for more than 8 points, Cortland Sutton did surpass 20 while sitting happily on the bench. In total, the Corn Shuckers narrowly surpassed the Gasms with 125.96 points on the week, leaving both teams with a satisfying 3-2 record through week 5.
The Jamaican shamans must have smoked some ganja because they were asleep. A well-oiled Union Pier machine made quick jerk out of his chicken. A stellar Jamar Chase ensured his bumble wasn't clotted before the game. Union Pier machines 124. Jamaican shamans a measly 85. What?
All right, I'm going to tell you guys a story from the old neighborhood. So this guy, his name is Bruce, walks into a deli, and he goes, listen, I got 3 guys with me. Bobby Trees, Fat Matt Ryan, and Austin X. And we're looking for this guy. His name is Jimmy G, right? Team Gridiron. And they say, if Dalvin Cook doesn't stay out of your starting lineup this week, we're breaking his other ankle. So Uncle Jimmy G, he left him in along with these 3 guys. Kirk Cousins, yeah, I got a couple cousins. Ryan Tannehill and Marquise Brown. I don't know who that guy is, but this is an Italian neighborhood, so, anyway, this guy, his name's Bruce. He kneecapped Jimmy G, 135.6 to 102.48.
Boom goes the dynamite. You think 171 points, second highest score of the week, would be good enough for a win, but it's not when you go against the high score of the week. The big old TDs outdistanced the Goon Squad 178 to 170. Leading the way for the big old TDs was Eric Henry and Devontae Adams, combined for 64 points. For the Goons, Lamar Jackson led the way with nearly 42 points, and Jonathan Taylor got 30 points. Finally, some double-digit points for Jonathan Taylor. However, again, the Goon Squad goes down to big old TDs. Little Teddy must be jumping for joy with that high score. Both teams are now 3-2, and Goons are reeling, and big old TDs are looking to thump someone else. Boom. Are you guys all wearing pants or what?
Welcome to the show, Uncle Jay.
Wow.
That is
have you.
that's just 2 minutes. It's always chaos.
All right.
Good to have you.
Next we got the boys from Take 5, Danny and Jack. They're gonna go over some Danny discounts and some Jack hacks. You guys wanna take on over there?
Hoorah! Take 5, #1 podcast in Union Pure Beer League. What's up, boys? So I got a question for you. Are you tired of spending $30 of your fab on a receiver that scores 1 point and then gets injured? Or a running back that gets cut next week? The waiver wire can feel like a cold and empty place, but here are some testimonials on players that you can get at a true discount. And they have been gotten. This is Danny's Discounts. So, we got 3 players right now that were picked up for $0 that are right now killing in the starting lineup. Number 3, Emmanuel Sanders. Looks to be wide receiver 2 in Buffalo. He's even cutting in on Diggs' time. Jeff got him for $0.
Unreal.
Number 2, Tony Pollard. He's giving Zeke a run for his money. Zeke's still looking strong, but man, Pollard looks amazing. Uncle Jimmy got him on September 22nd for $0.
Perfect.
Number-
Steal.
Number 1, this guy, he was discounted multiple times. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the league right now, Mike Williams. Can you believe this? Goon Squad dropped Curtis Samuel to get Mike Williams for free on September 9th. Then he dropped him again. Bruce picked him up, dropped him. Bruce picked him up for free, by the way.
He moved.
And then finally, Goon Squad re-picked him back up a couple weeks later. This time he spent $20. I would say that's $20 well spent. I would say it's $30 well spent. He is the wide receiver 1 on the Chargers. Herbert looks amazing. That, to me, is proof that there is hope on the waivers.
Danny,
now,
Mike Williams is position ranked number 1 right now.
he's wide receiver 1.
He's wide receiver 1.
You
Yeah.
could get the wide receiver 1 twice this year for $0.
Unbelievable.
Those are your waiver wire discounts. I also got 4 guys to watch because it's too early to say that it was a great deal, but so far it's been a good deal. We got Kadarius Toney for Austin, Dawson Knox for me, Hunter Renfrow for Jack, Chuba. All those guys under $3. Renfrow invented his own route. And then this week, a possible discount is Devontae Booker. We don't know how long Saquon's out. I think people are going to pay for him, but he might be worth $20-$30. We'll see.
Danny discounts everybody. Let's move into Jack's hacks. Jack, hack away.
And now time for my segment, Jack's Hacks. These are waiver wire acquisitions that didn't pan out accordingly. So, of course, we're going to pick on Uncle Jay 'cause he's on the show. Elijah Mitchell, my number 1.
Yeah, he's got to be number 1.
Uncle Jay busted his fab a little too much on Elijah Mitchell's.
Uncle Jay fabbed off too much.
A little too much.
No gasoline, no Novocaine.
Premature
Stepped off too
fabulation.
much.
Total price $51. Last score 7.8 points in our half PPR league. So
Elijah Mitchell is going to turn out to be the 49ers' number 1. He's definitely the guy over Trey Sermon. They're on bye this week. and he was injured. He had some sort of shoulder injury, which allowed Sermon to have a chance at the taking over, and Sermon did not take the ball by the reins. There's usually a lot of success for 49ers running backs, and Sermon just did not have that success that Elijah Mitchell clearly had in that first game, and Kyle Shanahan's looking to get back to.
We'll see at the end of the season, but right now he'd be certainly a top bust.
And speaking of busts, number 2, I have Kenyon Drake. I mean, Tommy picked him up for $0. I totally understand it. But we already saw Josh Jacobs be out of action, and we got to see what Kenyon Drake, that increased volume, would look like. And it didn't look like so much. So I think he's wasting a spot on Tommy's team personally.
Jack running a psyop to get Kenyon Drake back.
I was getting him as a backup for Jacobs, but I don't want him. I want nothing to do with him. You want Kenyon Drake, Jack?
No, I'm not going to pick him up. He's a curse.
He's a curse. Who's your next one?
Number 3, I got Trey Lance. I'm sorry, James.
Ooh.
Sorry to pick on you.
Yeah, that
but
was the one
true.
I was.
Woo!
that's a big one. That's probably even above. That's probably should be number 1. I put it as number 3.
I think that is number 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll move it up to back.
Is he an $8 quarterback or
I think
$7
Mitchell is,
quarterback?
I think Mitchell's a better third candidate, and Trey Lance is a better big bust candidate because I did spend $58 whopping dollars on the guy. Is he gonna play? He's picked up a knee injury, and he's going to the bye this week. And I'm already 0-5. I'm up against the boards.
So-
my head is underneath the guillotine. It's already coming down.
Can I say
James.
something? I think he's a huge bust because of how much money you spent on him, but at the same time, it's like picking him up in your position. I don't know if that's that.
Yeah, it was
not the reason for your bust. The bust is because you spent $58 on him.
Yeah.
But like he's not. I don't think he is a bust compared to some of the other guys that could be
Right.
$58.
Yeah.
First game appearance start. Gets injured. Maybe. I mean, Trey Lance got injured, so I don't know if he's worth, in hindsight, hindsight 2020, but I don't think he's worth the money.
No, he's not worth the money. Yeah.
And that
Unless
concludes
he
my segment.
plays-
I actually had a bad dream. Like I was watching football in my dream, and Kenyon Drake was just like on a tear for like 40 points,
Oh,
and I was sweating.
I had that same dream.
And then I woke up and I saw.
attacked. He's Kenyon Drake lives in his mind at all times, even after the season.
Didn't he hunt him last year
He's
too?
my Horcrux,
Yeah.
bro. No, he got me to the
Jack is
playoffs. He got me to the playoffs, guys.
Exactly.
Welcome to UPBL's Week 6 starts of the week. I'm going to start off with start of the week. I can't be the start of the week starter.
My start of the week is Aaron Rodgers. He's playing the Bears. He's 75-0 against Chicago. It's a no-brainer.
Speaking of Brady, my start of the week is Antonio Brown. He's getting all the targets. I think Brady's completely forgot about Godwin, who was a great target in the past. But I think Brown's a top 5 wide receiver at this point. People might argue that, but I think so. Who's your start?
I got Tyler Lockett. I think that Geno isn't going to throw the ball super far, so maybe that takes Metcalf out of the equation. But I see a lot of checkdowns and crossing routes to Lockett. I think a lot of people are going to think that the Seattle wide receiver core, don't even bother with him this week. But Geno looked good, and I got Lockett getting 20 points.
I'd be starting Metcalf if I had Metcalf.
Really? Okay.
Teddy, little Teddy has him.
If I had Metcalf
then
and
he's
Lockett, I
scoring
have
50
Lockett.
points.
I'd be starting Metcalf.
Yeah, he put up 26 points against me last week. I know who he is now.
I'm
What
on
happened
Danny's
to
side,
Russell
Lockett
Wilson?
all day.
He broke his finger. He tore a tendon in his middle finger, and he's going to be out until at least week 10. He's trying to get back week 10, but
anyways, James, who is your starter?
my start we'll save for later. But we'll put that in the glove compartment for right now.
I'm starting Teddy's entire team. Teddy, I think I play him. Yeah, I play him this week, and the 178 is really scary. I mean, Uncle Jay he's great, but he already beat me. I think he only got like 109, so that was just a coaching error on my part. But should be 5-0. But
Teddy.
You know, I was down 60 points to start the night, so I didn't think I had much hope. But then when I saw that I caught up and they were in overtime, I'm like, wow, I still have a chance.
You only lost by 8.
Yeah,
You would have beat anybody else.
I know that's Uncle Teddy's team is nuclear bombing everyone.
I mean, look at your top 3 point scorers. You put up, all of them put over 30 points, which is nuts. Lamar, 41. Mike Williams, 32. JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, 30 points.
Shit. Yep.
The next highest points was Danny, 138. That was the next highest.
Mike Evans
130.
had his other 2 guys put up 20 points too, Kareem Hunt and DK. So he had 6 20-point plus scorers.
Yep.
He only plays one quarterback.
Yeah, he went
That's
with
his
the
style.
zero QB approach. My
Right.
opinion.
He's going for the highest ceilings possible, and the highest ceilings possible they're not quarterbacks.
Uncle Jay had Lumberjack with 42, and then Mike Williams 32. That was crazy too.
Yeah, 100 points by 3 players is insane.
Unreal.
We'll get into the sits of the week. I think I'll start it off. My sit of the week is Derrick Henry.
Wait.
Derrick Henry is going against the vaunted Buffalo. You laugh. I hear you laughing on the other end of the podcast. What do you mean? We're not doing any cuts. My sit of the week is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is
Yeah,
going against the vaunted Buffalo defense. Last week, my back, CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, broke his knee in half against the Buffalo Bills. Do not play
Disgusting.
Derrick Henry this week. However, Derrick Henry is just such a freak, and he might be the only way in the offense that he still might just put up 12 points.
He's number 1 right now.
I think James has his jockeys on too tight to sit Derrick Henry, but hey, it is subjective, and he could be right about the 12 points, you know. But I'm going to disagree with James on that.
I would be thrilled if Teddy sat Derrick Henry against me this week. I would be like,
You're not sitting Derrick Henry ever.
Yeah, it just unless he's missing his cleats or something, you know.
I am sitting Marvin Jones Jr. Targets fell off, therefore his points fell off. But at the same time, even though Trevor Lawrence does seem like he's going to be a great quarterback someday, I think the offense they're just not a good team. They're just not a good team. So my sit is Marvin Jones Jr. I had him in 2 leagues. Started the season off great, and he's just completely fallen off. And I think I'm giving up. I'm sitting him.
My sit of the week would be Roger Goodell. He's an anti-football pussy, and he belongs on the bench.
mine says Damian Harris. I think Austin's gonna sit him this week. You think he's projected?
No, he can't. He's
He
got
can't.
2 running backs on buys.
Oh no, he could get creative with the waiver wire, maybe.
He's got to go all in on Booker.
He's gonna drop the Falcons' defense. No one would keep him.
All right, who's the next sit?
My next sit, I'm going to follow suit with the non-player and go with Virginia McCaskey. McCaskey's got to go. Until they sell the team, it's doomed for its narrow-mindedness in their decisions, keeping all these yes people on board. So anyway, that's my sit of the week.
Love it. Here to that. Let's get into our cuts of the week.
I'm cutting Goff. So
Goff?
if anybody, Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Detroit's just so disappointing, man. You know what's so funny? Living in Michigan now, you can feel people's pain. You just know. Yeah, you ever been to Ann Arbor, man? It's like
I have. They have tough sodomy laws there.
I live close to Lions Stadium, and I saw the crowd going home after that Jason Tucker, 66-yarder?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like you could see Justin Tucker, sorry. You could see an entire city like psychologically devastated.
They were just
The Lions heartbreak in new ways every week.
looking for a win.
1 field goal away from beating Lamar.
Yeah.
That's glory.
Detroit was nuts to get rid of Stafford, but again, another family-owned team. Still Ford still owns the team, I think. They all need to go. Them family-owned teams.
All right, so my cut was John Gruden because you can't put him on IR, and he's gone. What do you guys think about that? I know James had some thoughts.
You retired on the spot. It doesn't seem likely that Gruden will ever be back in football. or at least on the coaching side.
And Danny, who was your sit again? What did he say about Roger Goodell?
He's an anti-football pussy, and he was right about that.
That's what he said. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the way a lot of the people he talks to thinks, and it's up in a series of tweets.
Who's got another cut of the week?
My
cut of the week is James's monologue right there.
Danny, who was your cut of the week?
My cut of the week is a quarterback that, for the first time this year, faced a real defense and showed his true colors. Patrick Mahomes. Ooh. Fuck him. Get Jared Goff instead. The guy's washed. He's done. If the refs aren't on his side, he's worthless.
He looked bad this week. I mean, I have Pat. He looked rough.
So, boys, we've been on a long ride in the car, but there's still something in the glove compartment, and that would be James's start, and I would love to hear what it is.
My start of the week is Ben Roethlisberger. Now hear me out.
Wow.
I hear you. I hear the chuckles. See, he's playing the Seattle D. There it is. He's playing the Seattle D. Seattle D sucks against the throw. Even Ben Roethlisberger. And here's the other thing about Ben Roethlisberger: the more injured he gets, the better he plays.
Do you think Geno can keep the ball long enough to stifle the Steelers' offense, or
if Alex Collins is running the ball, maybe?
Ooh.
But he's been a disappointment all year. I'm just saying he's startable this week.
Tommy, how much did you spend on Daniel?
57.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I heard you. I heard you. You know, I still think you're smoking shit or something. That's insane that you would think to start this wretched old man that couldn't even, throw a football through a hula hoop in front of him. Your prognostic just doesn't float when you're 0-5, I guess. Maybe that's what we're picking on you for, James.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, my pickings have been off all year, evidently.
You can pick your ass better, I think, right now.
It is.
How do you feel having the highest value for points for and being 3-2 in the league? Are you okay with that? It's just mostly luck, right? That's what fantasy is.
I'm not okay with that. The only thing that I'll say about that is what blows my mind is our top two, you, yourself, Jack, and Bruce, who have only put up 608 and Bruce 591, but their points against are they're the lowest two in the league. They're like middle. They put up in the middle. Jack,
we are.
Jack,
it's all luck.
Jack is.
We're 40 points below everybody else. Look at that, Teddy, dude. Teddy has 733.
Jack and Bruce are 9th and 10th for points against. They like nobody's scoring points against them.
Uncle Jay, Dad was talking about this though. In one of his other leagues, they introduced a rule where the highest scoring non-playoff team took the wild card, essentially.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
In the fantasy baseball league I just finished up, the team with the highest score didn't even make the playoffs. However, because of that rule, they were the wild card team. But there was a team that had a better record, but they got bumped out because of that rule. And yes, that's and the other rule they have is the tight end gets double points.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to know the rules, and I've won that league a couple times, and I had Gronk, or I had not Keith Hernandez, but the Kansas City had him for a while, Tony Gonzalez, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Travis Kelce the last time I won. He had
Kelsey's a beast.
I wanted to ask Uncle Jay if you had any rule suggestions for us, or have you been liking the Superflex?
Yeah, I enjoy the whole format.
Should we bring a tight end in? What do you think?
No,
Tommy's advocated for bringing a tight end in.
I prefer this method of either or because, again, the lack of quality tight ends to choose from. But if you forced everyone to use a tight end, it would change up the strategy. But I like all the rules you have. I enjoy, and that rule about the team with the most points not making the playoffs. I'm okay with that too. That happens. It happens in real sports. I bet.
Josh started out slow. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up
He is number 2.
1.
Daniel Jones. Now, if he wasn't hurt, he just got a concussion, so he'll be out for.
No.
I'm trying to justify that I spent $57 on him.
Oh,
It was a good pick.
it's only money. Whether it's
Not
real
even
or
real money.
imaginary.
Not even real.
Yeah, once you hit the play button, it's gone. So no regrets, no regrets.
No regrets. No regrets.
Well, hey
they just
Jay,
had
I got a question. How do you feel about Kyle Pitts rest of the year?
Well, I was trying to unload that guy for the first, weeks of the season, and
I'm aware.
Yeah, and he was, I was gonna cut the guy, but because I thought Atlanta's, offense was in the toilet, but they've, I'm not saying one game turns it around, but I'm no longer gonna cut the guy at this point.
Calvin Ridley's out, Uncle Jay, for a while. I mean,
Who?
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, their other receiver.
Yeah, that's who was out, and that's why you
Oh.
were definitely able to play Pitts with confidence
he's
on Sunday.
The number one target for Ryan now. Okay.
Yeah.
James, what are you doing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Oh, he's got to go on my bench until about 4 weeks. Apparently, he's not out for the season.
Okay, so
Oh, you can't. Now see, you should expand the IR. That you asked me earlier about something.
Rule
the
changes?
change.
How many spots?
Two is thin. I mean, especially with the COVID. I mean, you got a guy in COVID protocol. That shouldn't count or yeah. Expand the IR.
I would
least
love
one
that.
more spot. You
Yeah,
shouldn't
maybe
have to
at least
keep
one
an
more.
injured player on your bench ever. To take up a spot.
The waiver wire has been plush to the
There's
point where the
been
number one
talent.
wide receiver is coming off the waiver wire.
Like he said, I drafted him and then cut his ass.
I do like that, James. That's a good point, though.
My dad always talks about how he likes that we have a flush waiver wire. It always seems like there's a guy you could
There's
pivot to.
somebody
Yeah.
you can.
That's unusual in football for me.
Well, it's also we have a really shallow bench. Five spots is not a lot.
That is, you're right. Yeah, my
We
other
have a shallow bench.
most leagues are.
Well, that's why there's more talent to pick from then.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But then you're only starting, so many people, but that also makes everybody just as competitive, I think, right?
Maybe there could be a happier medium with the fab system now, though.
Yes, I think the FAB system's been the great equalizer.
One waiver thing I noticed because I was looking at like who the best pickups were is there's a lot of shit pickups. I would say 1 in 15 guys that got picked up were actually like of value or worth what they cost.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all. It's it's a crapshoot. It's a roulette wheel.
In fact, some of the most valuable pickups have been for free.
Absolutely.
It's unreal.
I'm sure a few guys have been.
Uncle Jay, Mike Williams, unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, that I got him back. I forgot that I drafted the guy.
Unbelievable.
Getting him back is very funny.
It is funny because I picked him up in the only other league that I'm in, and he's like one of my star players. And I tried to do it in our league, and he was gone already to the Goon Squad. And then I proposed a trade, like hoping before he snaps too much, Uncle Jay will give him to me. And he was like, he declined it. It wasn't good enough, but I gave it a shot.
There's been a lot of trades attempted this year, more than years past. What do you guys think about that?
Well, it's part of the game. It's part of the entertainment factor that we do this for. Trades are allowed. I'm not a fan of them, but I always like the team I have. If I want to get rid of a guy, I just cut him. But if I want some, there's plenty of players on other teams I like. But what am I willing to give up? And that's a subjective value thing anyway. What the players.
So you're more of a hoarder fantasy football player. You like?
I guess
you like
that
the
would
team
be
you
a good way to
drafted
describe
and
it.
you hold on
Yeah,
to.
hoarder. And let's face it, why trade away one of your studs? Why get rid of one of your horses?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's how I've always played until this year. Now I'm actually indulging in the trade system, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still new to it.
I'm happy Jeffrey trades.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, whoever traded with my middle nephew certainly scored.
Yeah, I mean both of the guys I gave him are on the waiver. And
Guys,
Juju. He picked up Juju, and I think Juju got injured. He's out for 4 weeks, right? He busted a rib or a
for
shoulder.
the season.
He's a done, huh?
Yeah, I think he's done.
You
Wow,
offered
yeah,
me Juju like week 3, and I considered it.
that's why I thought Pittsburgh was going nowhere, and I still think they're going nowhere. But even with Big Ben, but yeah, I just don't see them as a high rolling offensive team anymore. And I wanted to cut my losses with Juju. So
I
hence
think
I
the
was
Steelers.
putting him on the box.
I'm saying it now. The Steelers are gonna make it in the wild card.
Just by
I
the
know
skin of their
it's-
teeth.
They're gonna make it by the skin of their teeth.
Well, if they're in a weak division, yeah, then they certainly can get a wild card. But hey, it's only week 5, so a long way to go.
Deontay Johnson.
You can start Deontay Johnson and Chase. Chase, what's his face? The rest of the
Claypool.
season. Chase Claypool the rest of the season for sure. Just because Juju's out, a lot more mysteries removed when
Yeah,
that
who's,
guy gets
who's the
removed.
third? Who's the third look or the tight end at
It'll be-
Pittsburgh?
Maybe I think it'll be Najee Harris before that guy.
Oh, the running back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't go
That
to
makes
Najee.
sense.
He's been the most throw targeted guy in football. Najee Harris.
Oh, that means he's coming out of the backfield, and Big Ben can't throw it more than 5 yards, right?
That's
Exactly.
true. Well, that's true.
That's exactly. All right, boys and girls. We guys about ready to shut it down? Any final thoughts?
No, that's it for me. It
I've
was
enjoyed
fun,
my
though.
time
Great
here.
to
No,
have
that
you
was
on the-
really good.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I thought I had no chance, especially I watched part of the first half of the game, and it sucked. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
And
dude.
then I got home and I turned it on just at the 2-minute warning, and I'm like, holy Jesus.
The
We
boys
were all-
texted me, and I'm like, we're all like, if it goes to overtime,
I still didn't have a chance. Too much would have to happen.
What's crazy is I sent the picture and it was like 160 to 178, and they still scored more. It was-
Yeah.
Yeah, the game was
If
almost
the
over.
Ravens-
Lamar 41.
If the Ravens hadn't scored the touchdown first, that would have been close. Like if they played half of that quarter of overtime, Jay might have got it.
Lamar Jackson also got stopped heavy on a 1-yard QB
Yeah,
rushing touchdown.
Fumbles.
That would
Wouldn't
have
that
given
change the
you.
entire score of the game, though?
Yeah, that would. Yes, he would have won. That would have. Yeah, it would have.
But it wouldn't have gone in overtime because the Ravens would have scored.
Right.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And one question I have: how is Lamar Jackson the number 20 quarterback in the league?
I'm looking at that.
What?
Uncle Jay, it says he has 138 points.
points, but he's number 20, and Matt Stafford's number 7 with 30 points less.
I heard sleepers.
Uncle Jay,
sick.
are you in any other leagues?
No, I'm just doing this one, and I'm happy to be in just one league. Don't get me wrong; I like to being in 3, but this is more entertaining. And I know each and every one of you. Well, I've never met Bruce, but he's working me for Allen Robinson.
Oh, he's working everybody for something.
He did.
If Jason, our Bears quarterback, gets rolling, he'll be connecting with Allen Robinson.
I think Mooney.
Well, he's the other deep threat, absolutely, but they're both above average receivers skill wise, I think, and they have potential, better potential than OBJ.
Oh, that's for sure. Guys, this has been our longest podcast yet. It's been an incredible show. Thank you so much for joining us, Uncle Jay. Thank you, Take
Yeah,
Five.
thanks for
Thank you,
having
Tommy.
me again. Good night to all you guys.
Smash that like button, subscribe. More throwing ropes.
We'll catch up with all you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank
Let's
you
go.
guys.
Later.
All right, guys, later.
Leaving a lot of work for our editor.
Yeah.
I'm back.